Hey, hi, and double net, everybody. This is Pika here, and it's basically 2 hours after I recorded Chaos Head. See, look, I'm not failing you guys. Basically, I am here to present to you part 5 of Katawa Shoujo. Basically, what happened last time was that... Fuck, what did happen last time? I'm pretty sure we met, Did we meet Lily? Or in Hanako? I think we did. Oh god, I need the help. Lunch evolution theory. Okay. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. But I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, but I don't have an answer for them if they do. So the situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we are going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now, there's no escape." Great.
Hey Chan! Looks like we're together again! Yay, yay!
Oh god. Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. Da-da-da.
What's wrong, Chan?
Da-da-da.
Oh, hey Chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Chan, we were talking about it after you left. It would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Right!
I am so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. If only school can be that easy. I almost want to say something about how a rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there.
Huh? Who, Chan?
Her, Hanako, over there. Does she always work alone?
I think so, Chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone?
I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. Fuck doors, fuck footsteps.
No, I don't think that would be a good idea, Chan.
Why not?
Chan wouldn't get along with her.
Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous but still has that letting up and down quality present in everything she says.
Just because, Chan!
By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. What,
Chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that.
You said it anyway.
I know, Chan. It's funny of you over here.
I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her I wouldn't be able to understand the things Shizune is saying and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there's never a conversation Shizune will be left out of?
Anyway, we should start the problems now, Chan.
We finished with time to spare, and I decided to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly the food so far has been subpar. This sent Shizune and Misha arguing among themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks, the ones with actual box lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels like I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she was invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder towards the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? And now to take my notes out. This is so cheating because it's like, it's like I'm so scared I'm gonna, oh wait. Okay, I'm like thinking in my head, oh shit, I got the wrong picture. Apparently read my book. I do what I always do when I don't know what to do. Like now. I've already started on one of the books I borrowed yesterday and took it with me to school to fill the empty moments between classes. I find the page that I creased a corner of to mark the spot I left yesterday night and pick up from there. Am I the only person who gets fucking bothered when that happens? Seriously, that's why I always have a bookmark or make one, because it's like, I don't want to ruin the pages. Mission and Shizune are still arguing heatedly, probably about restaurants still. If I join them, I'd just get caught up in that, or worse, get grilled about joining the student council. But then again, which is worse, student council or restaurants? Mission isn't speaking aloud since there's nobody who need to hear what they are talking about. But why does she tend to sign things even when Shizune doesn't need to understand what's being said? Or even more strangely, when Shizune is not around at all? What an odd conflict of habits. I find it hard to focus on the book, and besides, the lunch break beckons me to leave the dullness of the classroom. I do so, heading down for the cafeteria. Mission and Shizune haven't come to a conclusion of one kind or another, following my wake though still talking in their animated fashion. Just around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a runaway train. Ow. I love this girl's theme. I love it. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform with a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. Wait, what? Oh god. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose and jumps up.
Aw, man! Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really! I wasn't looking where I was going, you just came out of nowhere. Sorry!
She's looking really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry at anything, since hurt puppies are right in my weak spot. It's okay, don't worry about it. Ow. Oh god. Oh god, don't get a heart attack now, please! I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself, don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. Calm down. It seems normal.
Hey, should I get a nurse?
The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds dumbfounded until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. I don't know why I was starting to laugh there. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time, but it's nothing more than that. Oops, wrong button.
You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard.
It's okay. I said it was fine and nothing's broken, nor harm done.
That's good.
I feel a hand on my shoulder at the same time the girls... Wait, what? I didn't even press a button!
Yeep!
I'm sorry, Shizune's face! I don't have time to look behind me because Shizune's already shoving me aside and stomping over to the girl, citing furiously at her.
Miss Ibarazaki, I saw that! Running in the halls is strictly forbidden!
Misha translated right on Shizune's tail, but her voice is girlishly playful, not full of the divine fury Shizune's arm movements would seem to call for.
Sorry, I was just going to get some stuff and I was kind of in a hurry. ... You've been told this 1,000 times before. Your reckless behavior endangers other students, and even worse, it's explicitly against the school regulations.
The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling.
I know that! I was just... ... Make sure that this will not happen again, although I'm sure telling you this is futile and only causes me further headache when you choose to ignore the regulations. Got that, Emi?
The small girl sticks her tongue out in response.
I gotta go! Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change and everything.
Before Misha or Shizune or I can say anything, she's already bolted from where she was a second ago, almost halfway towards the stairwell. Shizune looks like she's about to go nuclear on the spot, so I smile at her in a vain attempt to calm her down.
Are you okay, Chan? The Ibarazaki girls always like that, causing trouble to others.
You know, I'm pretty sure Shizune wouldn't call me a Chan.
Never mind.
Yeah, anyway, I'm okay. Just got the wind knocked out of me.
That's great, Hichan!
I wouldn't call that great, but I let it slide this one time.
We have to run now. There's an important student council meeting regarding the festival, and we've finally decided where to eat. Too bad you can't join, but this lunch meeting is only for council members. We can take you there some other time. Oh, but that'd be like a day, wouldn't it?
The girls leave for downstairs. I didn't manage to get far from the third floor hallway before all this commotion struck, literally. I should get going as well. The lunch in the afternoon class passed uneventfully. I read most of the book I had started yesterday and eat some of the mostly inedible offerings at the cafeteria. The class is tiresome. The teacher seemed like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material was relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd, at the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else sleeps, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Mutao is examining the assignment she's working on earlier, and marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him, addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he is holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems merry and methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I consider joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club, might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Mutao looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as you did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako? It's not like you can ignore her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open.
Teacher! Sensei!
Misha crashes in, hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muta, visibly dismayed at the interruption of Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Oh, goddammit. Mikado? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, so she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong but has no idea what.
Yes?
We have talked about volume control before.
Yes?
But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So what is it? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun.
We need help! We are running out of supplies for the festival stands! This is a distress!
She shows a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that?
Plywood! Plywood is always the problem! Last time we wanted more, there was only a little, but that time we just took it all and went with that! Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there some is?
I don't understand. How would I know?
The president thought that a teacher would know if there's plywood. Was she wrong?
Muta looks like he is in great pain, frightening with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drawing his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there is any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any.
Oh, what should I do?
Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm quite sure you would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold dead hands, but that's a different matter.
I don't have time! We are so busy!
She holds her head with both of her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair.
I shouldn't even be fetching these things! There's so much to do and we are falling behind the schedule!
Muta looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if he could get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me focusedly, with a hard expression as if trying to say, go make some friends. Really, bro? You're gonna send me off with this crazy bitch? Yeah, I guess I can give you a hand.
You can? Thanks, Chin! You really are nice!
She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger yelping, ah! Looking very puzzled.
Come to think of it, what's Chin doing here? Class is over, you should be having fun!
We just had a little chat.
Oh no, it's not the tension, is it? Are you in trouble, Chin?
No, I'm not.
Is Chin in trouble, teacher?
No, he's not. Muta sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So, what do you need?
Here's a list. I can try to find a plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room.
She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help you, but this has no implication on whether I'm joining the council or not.
Aww! Still, thanks, Chan. Try to be quicker. We are in a stall building street now, so we must hurry!
Oh god! This is embarrassing. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving a long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor still with identical doors are rooms that I didn't even think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Hi! Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in the corner very still, but still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Oh god, how do I do her voice? Seriously, her voice switches because it's like, unlike the other characters, I do not have a definitive voice for her. Hello. The girl stuffs the fork full in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here, for some festival smells, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't, that's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You are pretty observant, I guess it does, but who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai, Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin, Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kinda bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure what's appropriate whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing moonily back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you were supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry, it's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes and with at least as much impoliteness, she's pointed straight at me. So Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. Damn, she actually figured out where my problem is! I can guess. I'm good at guessing, better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. I was gonna go on, and then I'm like, so soon, I love that word. Okay, this messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem, arrhythmia. Damn, I said it? I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you, just I collect people and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh, so you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Sal. I have a very serious heart condition that could possibly kill me. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room and pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study room from the corner of my eye. Her hair is of burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair will probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of her arms makes her look very thin, almost scrawny. She is not particularly pretty except for her mercury eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. Trying to get comfortable here and it's not working. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight discomforts people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? Excuse me. I keep searching the cabinets and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable. So I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors. Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the route, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I looked out of my hole and double-checked it with Misha's list. It seemed to have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to think of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough for warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Miss Sal. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Sal. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that.
What is here?
I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gotten a jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as if she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited.
No, wait, more importantly, who was in there? There's no club meetings today.
She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here?
You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Chan!
She wags her finger at me scoldingly. God damn it.
I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you were tardy.
Oh, sorry. I got the things here. I was just going to bring them.
I think you're up to some mischief, Hichan. Who was in there with you, I wonder?
Misha signed something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Ready to take a drink? Sorry. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I could only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insults of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. My throat is starting to hurt right from doing this. And indeed she stared at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello? Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello? ...
Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You are absolutely not permitted to use school property for such disgraceful activity!
It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune/Misha's scolding us, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. ...
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore! ... Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too. ...
And?
We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs a reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown.
Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously! It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it!
Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true that I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicked slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now. She's named Misha gone, so we too leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arm from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai! What a happy coincidence! Tezuka too, of course! He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, but then turns to me because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There is something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling at the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medication. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. Come see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sent shivers up my spine, but I gave a generic answer anyway. That's great! Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such, I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Alright, and before we do that, I'm gonna fucking save, because my voice is hurting. Oh my god, seriously. I mean, it's like, I don't know how long I've been going, but seriously, speaking that long hurts. Especially when, with KSI it's not so much because it is voiced. Even Takumi's thing, it's voiced. I just have to basically read out the thingies, the nonsense thingies. But with this, where it's not voiced, it hurts. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take an end for part 5 of Katawa Shoujo. I hope you enjoyed it. And oh god, I need fucking comments. Like seriously, I'm still trying to figure out how to fucking get audio and video like synced, and it's hard as fuck. Though I guess practice makes perfect, right? But basically, that was part 5 of Katawa Shoujo. next week, I don't even know if we're gonna be doing this week. But basically, in part 6, we're gonna tell the doctor our answers. So stay tuned to part 6. Hope you enjoyed Katawa Shoujo for this week, and I hope to see you again next time. See ya!